Hello guys, this is Akshay Daga and welcome back to APDaga's Dumbbox. And in this video, I'll show you how you can write a Python code to connect to MySQL database and get the data from MySQL database, then manipulate it, update it. So all those kind of operations. So in my previous video, I have already shown you how to install and configure MySQL setup, MySQL workbench, MySQL installer, all those things. If you follow all those steps shown in my earlier video, you will reach to this point. You will come across this kind of window where you can run all kind of SQL commands shown over here, and you will be able to play with whatever sample databases and tables given in your local host, like MySQL server localhost. Okay, now our task is to do all the tasks which you are able to do over here using Python code using Jupyter Notebook. So I'm sharing my screen, and right now you can see a Jupyter Notebook. So very first thing you need to connect your Python code with MySQL database is a driver program. So how to install that? For that, just go to Google and search MySQL connector Python PIP. Okay, once that is done, you can go to this first link and you will see a command here. This command can be used to download and install the driver program needed to connect Python code with MySQL. Okay, you can copy this command from here, and you can run this command on Jupyter command prompt directly as it is. There is another way. If you want to run this same command from Jupyter Notebook itself, you can just copy paste this code. Since this Jupyter Notebook is made to run Python code, but you are trying to run a shell command, right? So what you can do, you can just write exclamation mark in front of the command, and you can run it from here itself. Once you can see it is running right now, it is downloading the connector driver program from internet and installing it. Now you can see installation is done. Once that is done, now you need to import MySQL connector as I'll provide alias as CONN, short form for connection. Okay, you can see that is also done. Once that is done, I need to establish a link with MySQL database. I can do that using this imported library. So I'll write conn dot MySQL. One second. The exact line for that is I'm correct. So dot connect, and I need to pass some parameters. The first parameter is host. Host is localhost because this database, MySQL database, MySQL server is installed on my local machine, not on any server. So I'll write localhost here. Then I need to pass username. So username is root. So default username is root. Then I need to pass password. So if you have seen my earlier video, previous video, there we need to provide a password while doing the installation process. So my password was MySQL in small letters. Okay. So once you pass all these parameters, you can establish a connection, and you can store it in a variable name, or you can create an object for this connection. So I'll write mydb. It is this object will store my connection with this localhost MySQL server. So I'll run this. Okay, it ran successfully. Now using this mydb, I had to create a cursor. What is this cursor? I'll tell you. In this way, I can create a cursor. So MyDB stores my connection with this MySQL database. Okay, not particularly one database. Whatever number of databases available in this are installed on this server, all those can be accessed using MyDB. So this object stores the connection, okay, to all my databases. Now, if I want to run SQL query or any kind of query on a particular table or a particular database, for that I need to create a cursor, and using this cursor I can run all the SQL queries. So I'll create a new variable named as cursor like this. Okay, so using this cursor variable I can execute all the queries which I used to execute over here. Okay, so very first command was show databases. So what I'll do, I'll write cursor dot execute I'll write show databases. Okay, it ran successfully. Now, once this query cursor.execute command is used to run the query, okay, but once the query runs successfully, whatever output is generated, if you want to see that, for that you need to write cursor dot fetch all. Okay, so whenever you will run this command cursor dot fetch all, whatever is the last query, its output will be shown over here. So you can see the output of show databases is this. This is the list of all the databases present over there. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll go to, let's say, this world database. Okay, so I'll write cursor dot execute, and I'll say use world. To select a particular database, the command is use and the name of the database. So use world. Okay, it ran successfully. Now I want to see the names of all the tables. So I'll write cursor dot execute, and I'll write show tables. Okay, in double quotes or single quote. And because I want to see the output of this query, I'll write cursor dot fetch all. Okay, so you can see these are the tables available. So let's say I want to fetch all the records from this table city. What I'll do, cursor dot execute, and then I'll write select star from, I'll write database name as a world dot city. If I do this and I'll write cursor dot fetch all, you can see I can access all the records from this table world.city. World is the name of database and city is the table name. Okay. Now you understood how to connect to a MySQL database, how to connect to particular database within that MySQL server, then how to fetch all the values from given table in that database. Now all that is clear. One more thing I'll show you. You might have heard of pandas as a library. Okay, we'll go into pandas library in detail in our future videos, but for now I'll show you one thing. The same data you can access using pandas also, since you are aware that in MyDB the connection is stored. Okay, and if you want to execute particular query, you create a cursor variable using this command, and using cursor you can execute different SQL queries, and you can show the output using cursor.fetch all. Similarly, without using this cursor, there is another way, that is using pandas. I'll show you how to do that. So till MyDB, the steps will be same, and once you create the MyDB variable, not variable, object, using MyDB object and pandas, I can do the same task. I'll show you. So import pandas as PD, the alias is PD. Once that is imported, now what I can do, I can write pd dot read SQL. So there is a read SQL. Okay, read SQL. So what I'll do, I'll write select star from world dot city, and from which connection I need to do, for which connection I need to run this query, MyDB. So whatever MyDB object I have created for a MySQL connection, that variable, that object I'll use over here, and I'll run this. Once I run this, you can see this query is ran, like executed using pandas library, using read SQL command for this connection. So using MyDB connection and pandas, I have displayed the exactly same table which I have displayed earlier here, but it was not that much readable, right? So here you can see it is much more readable than earlier one, right? So this is how you can do it. Now this was all about read operation. Now I'll show you how to create a new database, how to create a new table. I'll show you. So just forget about this pandas, it was just a demo. Now let's continue with this, our cursor. So I'll write cursor dot execute. I'll write create database. What I'll write, new DB. Okay, I'll keep it in a small case, new DB. So let's run this, and it got executed correctly. Then if I check now, cursor dot execute, show databases, and cursor dot fetch all. Now I should be able to see this new DB. Okay, now this new DB is created. Once that is created, I want to create a new table. So what I'll do, I'll write cursor dot execute. I'll say create table, and the name of the table will be like a new table. I'll write. Okay. So I'll create a new table as a the name of the table is new table, and I'll create 3 new columns. The first one will be like ID. So type of ID is int. Then the another is first name. The type of first name is varchar, and we need to pass how many characters should be there in varchar. So I'll say 10 characters is okay for me. The third one is last name. Again, type is varchar. I'll again store 10. Okay. So since it is not readable in a single line, what I'll do, this backslash character can be used if you want to go to the next line. Next line. Okay. Line breaker. So backslash can be used as a line breaker. So if I try to run this, you can say there is an error. What is the error? Int ID create table, new table. So what is the issue? Now it ran successfully. I think there was some blank space issue because while doing the indentation, I had given some tabs in between. So that was the issue. So you should not provide any tab in between. So it got executed correctly. So if I do cursor dot execute and I write show tables, right? And if I write cursor dot fetch all, so I can see new table. Okay, that is a mistake I made. While creating a table, I should provide the database dot table name so that it will be created in that database, or otherwise I should write use database name. Earlier here we have used use world, so that's why if I don't mention any particular database name, that table will be created in whatever database we have used in our use command. So what I should do, I should write cursor dot execute. I should write use new DB, right? New DB. Either this, or here if I write new DB dot new table, that is also fine. So I'll try to run it once again. Okay, now it got executed correctly. And what I'll do, okay, now you can see since I use new DB, whenever I run show tables, so it will try to show all the tables in this new DB database. So if one more thing, if I try to run this command once again, I'll get error. Why? It will say that this name new table is already already present. So in that case, you can write something like create new table if exist. If not exist, so that it will check if this table is not existing, then only it will run this query. so that it won't throw any error. So I'll run this. Yeah, since this table was existing earlier, so it skipped this query because of this keyword if not exist. Okay, now show tables, that is done. Now I'll show you how to enter some records in this. So I'll write cursor dot execute, and I'll write insert into, so I'll write new db dot new table, and I think values I should write. And there are three tables, so I'll write one, then I'll write Akshay. Okay, I should pass it in a single quote, Akshay, then last name Daga. So let's see, it runs successfully. Similarly, I'll write couple of more entries. So here I'll change the ID to 2. I'll write some other name, XYZ, something. Okay, then I'll add one more line, that is 3, and APDaga dump box. Okay, so if I run this, now you can see I have inserted 3 records. Okay, this one, and this one. So I'll try to check cursor whether those records are entered or not. So cursor dot execute, select star from new db dot new table. So, and I'll do cursor dot fetch all because I want to see the output. So you can see all 3 records are present over there, okay, in that table. But one fun fact, now let's go to MySQL workbench. Okay, and here I'll run show databases. Okay, so new database, new db is present. Okay, then I'll write use new db, control enter. Okay, then I'll write show tables in new db. Okay, table is present. Then what I'll do select star from new db dot new table. Okay, I'll do control enter. Even though I ran the query, but you can see it returned all the blank things. It didn't return any row. Here we can see we have entered 3 rows. Okay, 3 records. But if I make a query over here, it is not showing me anything. Why? That is an important thing. Whenever you try to update any table, any existing table, maybe update operation like inserting something, update operation, delete something like insert, update, or delete operation, then you need to commit it to make that change permanent. So right now I have made a change over here, but that change is not permanent. So for that, the syntax is mydb.commit. One common mistake people does over here, even I did earlier, instead of mydb, you can see everywhere we have written cursor.execute. So people try to do cursor.commit. Okay, that is a common mistake people does. So if you do that, it won't throw any error, but it won't commit it. You will keep on checking there, but nothing will happen. So instead of cursor, you have to write mydb.commit. Okay, once that is done, if you run this query over here also, you can see all the records are present over here because those changes are permanent now. Now I'll show you how to insert multiple records. So there is a way for that. This was a single line insert. Now I want to show you how you can do bulk insert. Okay, so for that let's go to Google. I'll download a file, search for glass data ICS. Okay, you will see this link. Go here and data folder, click on that and go to this glass data. new file will be downloaded here. Now you just need to copy this file glass data and go to your current directory. Now you know how to check current directory. So if I write dir over here, not like this, dir over here, or yeah, dir also. So this is my current directory. Okay, even if I do pwd, yeah, right. So this is my current directory. Just copy that file, paste it over here. So you can see I have already pasted it, class.data. So using this class.data, I'll try to import it. Okay, so you know, f equal to open csv, name is the glass.data in a read mode. And if I do f dot read, you can see, one second, okay, that is a spelling mistake. If I do this, you can see this is the data available. Okay, if I try to show you the file over here, that file will look like this. These are the multiple records available, right? So but for that you need to create another table. The reason for that is, if you check here, uh one second, if you check here, there are how many columns? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11, total 11 columns. And first column and last column is integer type, all remaining columns are float type. So I need to create a new table. So I'll create a new table for that. The new table for that. Okay, so let's go here. One second, I made some mistake, I guess. That file is there. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create a new table. We know how to create a new table. So this is the command to create new table. And we know there are total 11 columns. So name of the column, I'll keep it as column 1, column 2, and so on. And first column and last column is integer, remaining columns are float. So column 2, column 3, and so on. So what I'll do, it should be float. So within float you have to pass two values, 10 comma 5. So 10 means the total length of float value, and this 5 means how many number of values you want to show after decimal point. Okay, so total length 5 and 5 values after decimal point. So it will be like 5 values, then decimal point, then 5 values, like that. So similarly here, I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this float 10 comma 5 command like this. I'll just copy this and keep on repeating again and again. So 3, then 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11. Okay, we don't need any remaining columns. Once that is done, and the last value should be int. We have already seen that. Int, that is fine. Okay, this is close over here, this is close over here. Okay, I don't find it. One second. Create int. Okay, fine, that is done. So I'll change the name of table, so it will be like a glass data. Okay, unmatched. Okay, number of brackets are different, I guess, because of some. Okay, int, it is not required. Fine. If I run this, there's still error. An error in SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to this. What mistake I made? This. Okay, very basic mistake I have made. I have written the small wrong spelling for float. Okay, fine. Right, now it should work. Oh, still error. Float, now spelling is also correct. Int also correct. Error, check the manual near line 1. Okay, I think I haven't given one closing bracket over here, which should be representing this. Okay, the closing bracket for this. Okay, now this is done. I'll run it. Okay, finally the table is created. So if I do cursor dot execute show tables, cursor dot execute, not execute, fetch all. Okay, class data is created. Now we need to insert data. So for that, what we can do, we can write it like we can use it. We can use a for loop for that with open. Should I use for loop? Oh, I need to read the file, but you have seen like if I use the earlier read file here, you can see \n, which indicates a new line character. So that will create a problem for us to separate out to separate two different records. So there is another way. I have shown you the pandas way also. The another way is using CSV file because it is a comma separated file. So I'll use import CSV. Okay, then using that I'll write with open uh, glass dot data, open it in read mode as f. Then what I can write CSV dot read. I can say syntax is, I can say reader f, and then I can pass delimiter, and the delimiter value is \n. Okay, one second. The correct syntax is this. Once that is done, then I can say, and I can assign it to a new variable. I'll write glass underscore data equal to this. Then I'll say for line in glass underscore data, and I'll print line. So what will happen? Now check the full syntax. I have opened this glass.data file in read mode and I have assigned it to F. Then using CSV reader, I have passed this F and mentioned the delimiter, and it will read all the lines and store it to the glass data. Now I'll say for line in glass data, print one line, all the line one by one. Okay. So if I run this, you can see, okay, did I delimiter? I think this is the spelling. No, the spelling is again wrong. Delimiter. Yeah, earlier I made the spelling mistake. So you can see all the lines are printed one by one. Now using this, I can use this line to appear insert in our earlier created table. So for that, what I'll write, I'll say instead of print, I'll create a new string. Once again, I'll copy this code as it is, and I'll put it here. And what I'll say, I'll just comment it. And now we know how we can insert the lines, insert the records into table. Cursor dot execute. Okay, and here I need to pass some string, some value. So the correct syntax should be select basically it is in the form of list. Okay, but I don't want list, I want only string. So there is another way. What I can do, I can write print line is a list, and I want the first element of list. So I'll just comment earlier line. Okay, and I'll run this. See, now you can see it is a string type. If you want to check the type also, it is nothing but a string. So now our print line of 0. So I'll use line of 0 afterwards. So once that is done, so here I'll write not select. We need to do insert into name of the table is new db dot glass data values, and I'll pass one line at a time. So whenever I need to pass some variable name within a string, there is a syntax, that is I need to write f, and wherever I need to pass syntax, just provide a curly brace there and write the name of the variable. So name of the variable is nothing but line of 0. So and it should be so once I do that, we need to check whether it gets executed correctly or not. So there is no error, that means it got executed correctly. So let's check cursor dot execute select star from new db dot class data and cursor dot execute, not execute, fetch all. Oh, you can see all the data is inserted correctly, but it is a temporary. When you know, whenever we alter a table, we need to do the commit. So commit will be like mydb dot commit. Okay, once I do mydb dot commit, the change is permanent, and we can see the same change is reflected over here or not. So if I do select star from new db dot glass data. Okay, so if I run this, yeah, everything is reflecting as expected. So whatever we did till now, we are successful. And now I'll show you how to create table, how to alter table. I'll show you how this is the update of it is an insert operation. Now I'll show you how to I'll show you update operation. Okay, so update operation is like execute cursor dot execute what I'll do, select, first of all, which line we need to modify, let's check that. Select star from new db dot glass data, where this is normal queries. I'm not going to teach you how to write queries in this video. We'll talk about that in our earlier another series about SQL or another video. So write call to equal to 0 or call to equal to 2. Let's check that whether it is right or not. Cursor dot fetch all. Okay, so there is no column present like that. So what should we do? Column 1 equal to 12, right? Okay, now we have this record is present over here. Now what we need to do, I'll check this value 13. I'll change this value 13.89 to some other value. So how to do that? So the command for that is cursor dot execute and update name of the table, that is new db dot glass data, then set, and then we need to pass call which column? This is first, second, and third. So column 3 equal to 13.89. So I'll pass some value like 17.77. Okay, where column 1 equal to 2. So for this particular row, wherever the column 1 value equal to 2, for all those rows, the column 3 value will be set to 17.77. But we know the when we filter the all the records using column 1 equal to 2, we'll get only one record. So only this record should be updated. Let's say whether our syntax is correct or not. And it is not correct. We have made some mistake. So let's check what is the mistake. So what is the mistake? I think this bracket is not needed. Okay, let's run it. Yeah, it ran successfully. Now, if I run this command once again, you can see 17.77. This value is changed to 17.77. And again, if I run the same command, I'll just copy this command and run it in Workbench. So the value is 13.89 here. Okay, this value is not changed. Why? Because we haven't done commit mydb.commit. Once that is done, if I run this command over here once again, this value is changed to 17.77. So this is how you can do the update operation. Now, which one is remaining? Before the last operation we are going to do is drop table and drop database. But before that, I'll check anything else is remaining or not. So yeah, before deleting a table and database, there is one operation, deleting a particular record. So again, for that, what we can do, cursor dot execute, and there is an option delete from table name, that is new db dot glass data, and we have to provide where. Let's say I want to delete this record. Okay, so where column 1 equal to 2. If I do this, this particular record will be deleted. So like any number of records which will satisfy this condition will be deleted. So here it is only one record. So if I do this and if I try to run the query, I should get null value. And yeah, as expected, I'm getting null value. So if I do mydb dot commit, then this change will be permanent. Now this change is permanent. Now, you know, we have inserted a single record, we have inserted bulk records, then we have updated the existing record, then we have deleted the existing record. Okay, now I'll show you how to delete the table. So deleting table is very simple. It is nothing but cursor. But before deleting a record, again I'll check anything needs to be, anything I am missing or not. Okay, one thing is fine. You can, if you are aware with the SQL commands, SQL queries, there are group by and this kind of class and all those things. Everything can be executed with this syntax. Okay, group by, limit, each and everything, any complex query can be run using this kind of commands. So now what I'll show you one example of group by before dropping the table. So select, let's say, column 1 and I'll do count. Yeah, count of column 2 from this. And I'll remove the where clause. Where clause is used for the filtration operation. Column 2, group by column 1. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so it tried to group by, but again, I'll change it. I'll write it like column 2. I'll group by column 2 and count the column 1, and I'll change it to column 2. So now you can see I tried to do the group by column 2 and count number of columns, column 1. So you can see this. Again, you can do order by also in the same query. So I'll do order by column 2 DSC means descending. I think I made some mistake. Check the manual. Okay, again that something related to this. Okay, right. One space was missing, that's why it was taking it as a this and group by as a connected. Okay, and you can see now because we have written order by column 2, so column 2 is this, right? So you can see you will get all the values here in a descending order, 1.53393 and so on. It is in decreasing order, right? Similarly, if I write ASC here, it will be ascending. So that's it. Then the last thing I'll show you is how to drop the table. Execute execute drop table. I'll write new db dot class data. Okay, so table is dropped, but we haven't committed yet. Okay, if we do the commit, the table will be dropped. So I'll do the cursor dot commit, not mydb dot commit, mydb dot commit. Now table is dropped permanently. Similarly, what I can do, cursor dot execute, I'll write drop database new db. Let's see, it ran successfully. I'll write mydb dot commit, and the change is permanent. If I go here, not here, and check show databases, you can see that new db is not present over here because we have dropped it. So that is how we can connect to a database, do all kind of operations like select operation, update operation, insert operation, delete operation, drop table, drop database, and so on. And at the end, what we can do is mydb dot close to close the connection. Okay, that's it. Now this was all about how to connect your Python code, how to access MySQL database using Python code, do all sort of operations on a given database, given table using a Python code. That was all about it. I hope you got knowledge from this video. You understood something new from this. If that is the case, please do each and everything you can do to encourage me. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do each and everything. This is Akshay Daga signing off. Thank you. Bye bye.